Welcome to the aviation basics, aviation terminology. Um, it's a continuing discussion to the previous discussion. So far, I have completed the terminology that starts with alphabet A to L in two separate discussion. I will start this discussion with alphabet M, which terminology start with alphabet M. Match, MACH. The ratio of aircraft speed to the speed of sound through the medium where the aircraft is traveling. Magnetic compass, the directional orientation of an aircraft according to the geomagnetic field. Magnetic deviation, the error produced by the unavoidable magnetic impact of aircraft materials. Magnetic north, unlike the geographical North Pole, this point is the location indicated as north by where the compass points. Magneto, an aircraft engine component that generates high voltage to ignite spark plugs. Mean sea level, the average level of the surface and ocean used as a basis for vertical measurements. METAR, a pilot weather report delivered on a continuous basis. Morse code, the pilots learn Morse code to identify aircraft call signs since NGBS and VORS still send their identifying letters this way. MSL means sea level, average level of the surface of one or more of the Earth's bodies of water from which heights such as elevation may be measured. MTOW, maximum takeoff weight. Alphabet N, narrow body aircraft, a smaller type of aircraft that has a single nacelle inside. It can carry 4 to 300 passengers. Naval, relating to ships or a navy. NGV, non-directional beacon, is a radio transmitter at a no location used as a navigation aid. NOTAMs, abbreviation for Notice to Airmen, which are published notices provided to pilots prior to flights, advising them of relevant circumstances in real time. Alphabet O, OAT, outside air temperature, operating limitations, restrictions defined by an aircraft manufacturer, including airspeed, weight, etc. OSCOS refers to the annual EAA Air Air Show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It is held every July. Overshot, landing aircraft beyond the runway. Alphabet P, payload, the weight of the content carried in an aircraft including passengers, pilots, cargo, etc. Pilot in command, the designated individual that is responsible for safe aircraft operation during flight. PIREP, pilot report to ATC made by a pilot during flight or after landing, describing actual weather conditions. Pitch, the movement of an aircraft around the lateral axis characterized by the nose and tail rising and falling. Velotive, a small device located on the front outside is of an airfoil used to measure air pressure. Sorry, it's pitot tube, not pilot tube. So pitot tube basically outside the uh, front part of the aircraft. Basically, I think under the cockpit outside that helps or help us to measure the air pressure. POS, Pilot's Operating Handbook, an aircraft flight manual containing pertinent safety information, primary flight display, the main screen used by pilots in aircraft containing an electronic flight instrument system, propeller, a piece of aircraft equipment that contains rotating blades creating engine thrust, Q, QAR, quick access recorder, and airborne flight recorder that provides quick and easy access to raw flight data through a USB or cellular network, quadruplane, an aircraft that has four wings of the same size. A roll aircraft rotation around the longitudinal axis, which runs from the nose to tail, radar, and aircraft surface used to control the yaw movement, runway, a defined rectangular area on a land aerodrome prepared for the landing and takeoff of aircraft. Runway in safety area, a surface located beyond the runway designated as a place for aircraft to enter in an attempt to minimize risks during unplanned occurrences such as an overshoot. So overshoot is landing outside the designated area. Alphabet S, second in command, the designated individual to take over flight operations from the PSC. Means primary in command, seniority, the amount of time you are employed at an airline or other employer. Short field, a runway that is shorter in length and requires aircraft to minimize the amount of runway used when taking off and landing. Side slip, an aircraft movement that typically aligns with the lateral force of the wind and result in a sideways flow. Skid, the sliding and inward pivoting movement of the aircraft that occurs as a result of stiff turn. Soft field, a runway that is not paved and made of elements such as dirt or grass. Squawk, a four-digit transponder code given to an aircraft by ATC to allow for simple identification of an aircraft in a given region. Stability, aircraft are subject to static, dynamic, longitudinal, lateral, directional stability that impact flying conditions. It is the inherent facet of a plane to correct for any conditions that disturb equilibrium and return or continue on original flight path. Stall, the condition that occurs as a result of an aircraft exceeding its critical angle of attack, therefore experiencing decreased lift. Standard rate turn, a turn that an aircraft makes at a rate of 3 degrees per second or a 360-degree turn in 2 minutes. Straight and level flight, maintaining a consistent heading and altitude during flight. Alphabet T, tail, the rear aircraft structure that provides aerodynamic stability. Tarmac, the paved area at an airport where aircraft park, fuel load and unload. Threshold, the area of a runway designated with particular markings indicating the beginning of a runway. Throttle, a device that controls the amount of power outputted by the engine. Thrust, a force which opposes aircraft drag and is created by the engines to propel the aircraft forward. Torque, a force that is intended to produce rotation. Touch and go, an aircraft maneuver used to practice landing techniques by simply landing on the runway and taking off once more without coming to a full stop. Transponder, an electronic device on airplanes that generate an output code which is used for ATC identification purposes, also known as squawk. Trim tab, small surface on the trailing edge of a bigger control surface used to counteract the aerodynamics forces on bigger control surface. True airspeed, the speed of an aircraft is the speed corrected for The errors caused by altitude and temperature. True altitude, the vertical height of an aircraft above mean sea level, MSL. Turbulence, a sudden violent shift in airflow caused by irregular atmospheric motion, TWR. Tower, TWY, taxiway. Alphabet U, upwind leg, the flight path in airport pattern that runs parallel to the runway. Landing directions, along the same direction the aircraft will be landing. Urgent takes precedence over all radio calls except distress, indicates a condition of concern regarding safety, requires timely assistance, although not necessarily immediate assistance. Useful load, the weight of the items that can be taken out of the aircraft, including fuel, passenger, cargo, pilots, etc. UTC, Universal Time Coordinated. The primary time standard used to regulate clocks and time around the world. Universal Time Coordinated. Alphabet V, V speed, approximately 20 standard terms used to describe airspace important or useful to the operation of all aircraft, such as VN speed, which means VNE speed, which is never exceed speed, or VMO, which means maximum operating speed. Each aircraft has its own unique V speed, vertical speed indicator, a device that provides the feet per minute rate at which an aircraft is climbing or descending. Very high frequency omnidirectional range. VHF, VOR, a short-range radio aircraft navigating system that allows equipped aircraft to receive directional information through radio signals from ground-based beacons. Visual flight rules, regulation that defines aircraft operations when pilots are able to operate using visual reference. VFR on top, the condition where IFR conditions exist, however, VFR conditions exist above the cloud layer. Visual meteorological conditions, PMC, weather conditions that describe a situation where pilots are able to operate using visual reference. VOR, a navigation aid used by pilots. VOR stands for very high frequency. VHF, omnidirectional range. Alphabet W, weight shift control, a method used by pilots to steer a hang glider or paraglider, whereby the push control bar attached to the wing structure. Wide body aircraft, an aircraft with two aisles inside. The typical fuselage diameter is 16 to 20 feet. Wind shear, an abrupt change in horizontal or vertical wind directions. WX, weather. XC, cross country. Y, the movement of an aircraft around the vertical axis, characterized by the nose moving side to side. The radar controls yoke, the aircraft control device used by pilots for changes in attitude as well as pitch and roll movement. Yoke kind of steering the car. G, alphabet G, Julo time, a term synonymous with UTC, Universal Coordinate Time, which is the same as Greenwich Mean Time. Pilots fly all flight plans in Julo time. So this is the end of aviation terminology for this discussion. Again, you need to learn all of the abbreviation slangs and the definition of aviation words. Acronyms are a large part of the aviation jargon. This glossary of terms provides basic definition of airline lingo. We have compiled this dictionary that covers traditional pilot terms, includes funny phrases as well. For example, a handshake in aviation means something entirely different than what you might expect. Again, English is always the official language for aviation. Good luck.